Okay, so let's talk about how it is that we prove that a function is big O of some function g of x, and how do we find the witnesses that go along with that so that we can, in fact, prove that it is O of g of x. All right, so you want to remember that a function f, okay, is O g of x if there exists a k and c such that when x is greater than k, the absolute value of f of x is less than or equal to c g of x. Right, so it basically ends up what we call it getting dominated. Okay, and what we're going to do, k and c are called the witnesses. So if I look at this, f of x equals x times log of x. Okay, and so what I want to do is I want to prove that it in fact is O of x squared. So one thing that we know is that for all positive x greater than 0, x is going to be greater than logarithm of x. Okay, you can go in and check it. You can take a look at the graph. That's going to be the truth. So suppose, right, okay, that we're going to let k equal to 1. Just choose an arbitrary one. K equal to 1 is just fine. Anything that's bigger than 0 is going to do it. Then, right, if x is greater than 1, what we're going to get is we're going to get x times log x, okay, is going to be less than or equal to x times x. Now, this only really makes sense because x is positive, right? But we already said that x is greater than 1, so we're all good. Okay, so x is greater than 1, this makes this statement true, and this equals x squared. So what that tells me then is that that for all x greater than 1, x log x is less than or equal to 1 times x squared, right? So if k equals 1 and c, now c being this value right here, equals 1, then we have shown that x log x is O of x squared, okay? And that's it. That's all we've got to do. We've got to just pick an appropriate value for x, where what we do is after that value of x, the function on the left-hand side, in this case log x, right, ends up being dominated by our x term, right? And so we end up with x log x is less than or equal to x squared in this case. So that shows us that x log x is always less than or equal to 1 times x squared, so long as x is positive, all right? So this gives us our witnesses. K equal to 1 and c equal to 1 are our witnesses. Now remember, one thing that's actually really important is that it doesn't actually matter what you choose as your witnesses, as long as k is bigger than the smallest one that you need and c is bigger than the smallest one that you're going to need. So as long as they work together properly, we can choose any values that we want, right? As long as they're big enough. Yes? And so consequently, k equals 1, c equals 1, in this case, both work.